That's how you have guys accumulate, 260 pounds of muscle as a super heavyweight open bodybuilder from utilizing multiple pathways at the same time. What's up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at Russo Lifts. Just in case something happens to this YouTube channel, you can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What is up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, please subscribe with the bell on. I am currently on vacation, still getting it done, and I'm still ASMR sipping. Got that G0 because the G is still working and recording on vacation, hustling, having this girl hold the light. Put the light off for a second. Yeah, she's literally holding the light over. Anyways, today I'm going to be going into intermediate cycle mistakes, redlining androgens, and why you should be looking into the growth hormone pathway if you've done a couple cycles. So a big mistake I see in my Instagram DM box, and DM me on Instagram at Russo Lifts and hit me with a follow. I'm not answering that many people on vacation. I'll be blunt honest. I'm trying to relax here, but I do answer like 10 to 15 people for free a day, and I always like weighing in for free. I try to be the influencer that I would personally hit the follow button on. But I see a lot of cycles where it's like, it's 3, 4, 5 androgens stacked on top, nothing in the growth hormone pathway. And I just see this as a lack of education. And if you guys thumbs up this video, I will 100% do an anabolic matrix type vid that's high quality that Andrew gets to edit with graphics and shit. But for right now, I'm gonna just go into the growth hormone pathway. So as far as how I like to do my androgens is I like a base level androgen such as testosterone or anything that gives an endogenous level of estrogen conversion, meaning this androgen is just the base level androgen as far as keeping blood serum concentration levels stable, and then you can add in a more exotic compound or whatever compound you're tailored towards bulking, cutting, right? If you wanted to cut, you could do Masteron. If you wanted to bulk, you would do MPP, etc., under a baseline of anywhere between 160 to 350 milligrams of test, depending on, if you're about longevity, health span, or if you're more about creating a super enhanced physique. It just depends on what you want. But what I see is people will do multiple androgens on top of that. And it's just like, why not saturate the GH pathway to build new permanent muscle cells, aka cause hyperplasia, right? The splitting and creation of new cells. I'll Andrew throw up hyperplasia. That way you're gaining more permanent lean body mass as the cycles go on. That's why bodybuilders stack GH with their cycles, right? It's for the recovery, but it's also to create new permanent muscle cells as you're using the androgens to increase the size of the cells. You're also using the GH in synergy to split and create new cells. Thus, the androgens increase the size of those cells. Cycle repeats. That's how you have guys accumulate, 260 pounds of muscle as a super heavyweight open bodybuilder from utilizing multiple pathways at the same time. And then I will go into the insulin pathway with growth hormone in general. But all I'm saying is if you're one of those guys who are, using 4 compounds at the same time, you're just redlining the androgen pathway. And hopefully Andrew already released the video on binding affinity, which you can throw up. And like the binding affinity, basically whatever has the highest binding affinity is going to beat, the rest of the compounds to the androgen receptor, and you're going to have spillover if you watch that video. All I'm saying is look into something into the GH pathway. It doesn't have to be human growth hormone, but something like even GHRP6, GHRP2, or something like MK677, which is an oral bioavailable secretagogue, which is probably the easiest GH pathway, most affordable GH pathway to use a long cycle. Now, I've done videos, discussing all the side effects as far as MK677. You could do IGF-DES, IGF-LR3, preferably LR3 if you're looking for longer term gains, or you could just do 1 to 2 IUs of GH per day. That will give you that hyperplasia effect. that will make more permanent gains off each cycle versus, you know, each time you redline a bunch of synthetic androgens together, like testosterone, masteron, SARMs on top. I've seen crazy shit. You're going to grow the muscle cells you already have. They're going to get bigger, and then they're going to shrink when you come off. When you're doing the GH alongside or anything in the GH pathway that facilitates a higher IGF-1 count, right? Any of those peptides, any of those GH peptides I mentioned, or GH in general, you're splitting those muscle cells, causing new permanent muscle cells, and then all the steroids, the SARMs, whatever you're using, is increasing the size of them. So each time you come off, you gain new permanent cells. the cycle repeats or the blasting cruise repeats versus burning out your androgen receptors, because they will desensitize. You will need more drugs as it goes on. That's just the way you can follow IFBB pros. They start out with a mediocre amount in their eyes of tests of like 500 a week, and then they legitimately need over a gram a test, 1.5 grams a test. If they're about building an open pro bodybuilding physique, they will need to push the dosages higher and higher and higher. Now, you could argue that you would want to use the least amount of overall androgen level to facilitate the growth and linear progress, while you have something constantly stimulating the GH pathway to have a higher IGF-1 count to cause that cell replication and split. So you're milking less for a longer period of time versus redlining androgens. This is basic, steroid and SARM cycle stuff that I feel like the masses don't know about. They just know that you want to stack a bunch of SARMs together, you want to stack a bunch of steroids together, which it'll work, but is it optimal? No. People are scared of the GH pathway. I understand why, but as far as getting the most out of each cycle, because each cycle you're accumulating damage to your body. So each cycle, especially each blast, you want to make sure everything's on point, and in my opinion, you want to make sure something is in the GH pathway to take the most advantage of those types of gains. I'll see you guys in my next video.